A question, the member from Halliburton, Kawartha Lakes Brock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Energy. Last month, the Leader of the Opposition and I visited Cedar Villa Farms in Selwyn Township in the riding of Peterborough, where we heard from local dairy farmer Randy Bullock that his hydro bill has tripled over the past 10 years. He still has the same number of cows that he did a decade ago. He's been improving the efficiency of his business and even milks the cows by hand to save on hydro costs. But still, those costs have skyrocketed, and the government's 8% rebate is nothing but a drop in the bucket. The hard-working farmers across rural Ontario are tough and proud, but as Randy puts it, it is just too much. So my question to the Minister of Energy is, when will the Liberal government stop forcing agriculture, one of our main economic drivers, out of the province with their irresponsible hydro policies?
Thank you. Minister of Energy.
Minister of Agriculture.
Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs.
From Halliburton, Kawartha Lakes Brock for a question this morning. Just to give you a little insight, particularly the dairy industry in the province of Ontario. Over the last 2 years, the dairy industry in the province of Ontario, the quotas increased by 6% each and every year. So what does that tell you, Mr. Speaker? That tells you that the dairy sector is growing significantly in the province of Ontario.
Terrific.
Agriculture and agri-food processing, Mr. Speaker, contributes $36 billion to Ontario's GDP each and every year. It's a growing sector. You know, Mr. Speaker, this morning at 5:30 a.m.
To the end.
Well, Mr. Speaker, at 5:30 a.m. this morning, 800,000 Ontarians woke up to pursue their careers in agriculture. The honourable lady says the quota increase has nothing to do with us. Yes, it has absolutely everything to do with us. We work with the dairy farmers each and every day to expand this industry.
I'd like to remind the minister that when I stand, you sit.
Yes, sir.
Supplementary.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The cost to agriculture because of the rising cost of energy is real. You can't ignore that. The government's response to the ongoing hydro crisis has been something to behold. For years, they denied there was a problem. Then they blamed the problem on anyone else but themselves. Finally, they admitted that they are responsible for the hydro mess, but offered Ontarians a weak and tone-deaf response. Ontarians saw through the government's actions and told them that they were doing far too little, far too late to respond to the growing energy poverty in the province. Today, we hear that they're once again scrambling to try to buy back Ontarians' trust. But how can Ontarians trust this government to do anything to solve the mess that they themselves created over 14 years of mismanagement? Tell that to the dairy farmers.
Be seated, please. Thank you. Minister.
Well, thanks very much, Madam Speaker. I just want to reply to the supplementary. The honourable should know, of course, that dairy quota in Ontario is worth about $6 billion. It's growing each and every year. The party opposite, when we proposed a risk management program for everybody else outside of the supply managed sector, they didn't support it. But, Mr. Speaker, on the back concessions in Ontario, we're hearing now that the Leader of the Opposition, we're hearing in the back concessions in Ontario, Mr. Speaker, that the Leader of the Opposition may be endorsing Maxime Bernier as the next federal Conservative leader. And, Mr. Speaker, you know what Mad Max wants to do? Is to get rid of supply management.